Hello everyone, I am Tacet and welcome to the Gems of War Guild Wars week 33 day 2. It is a green day and today we got the mic fixed. Not really much was wrong with it, but it's not something I could easily fix earlier. But yep, all that's fixed now. Normal mic is working and functioning as it normally does, so we don't have that issue anymore like we had yesterday. But anyways, let's get into the Green Day teams. We've been messing with a Famine Plague combo, 2 of the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse for a Green Day. Of course, one of the older teams I used to use was double Giant Spider, double Kraken. This is technically a version of that, a way more expensive version of that, but with what currently gets used in Guild Wars, also a slightly safer version of that. Because it's really annoying with all the Queen Mabs having to constantly use what we were using before. So we have 2 choices here. We either take the blue, or we either take the yellow extra turn, but we don't get blue. We chance the blue, or we guarantee take both of them, but we almost guarantee do not get a turn. I think I am going to go for that, mainly because we have a convert over here. So let's get rid of all these reds. We don't even use red, so that actually works out perfectly. And yeah, we're good to go. So we'll go take ourselves just a little bit of mana somewhere. Maybe even just a skull would be perfectly fine. It's not going to give him any kind of turns or anything. We could start poking that down, get a famine on it. Would probably be enough to clean up as well. He'll just do that. And yeah, there we go. We could just go and famine that right out. That is his only devour. And then the only slight issue we might have is with the Forest Guardian if it happens to get a cast off. But ideally it will not. Also, ideally we'd want a blue here, though there is no blue. So I guess we just go for greens and purples. Then again, I don't think there's a green or purple either. Wow. Well, plan C, I guess, is take a brown. I guess we'll take it that way. Whoa, shuffle. No wonder why I couldn't find anything useful. Board shuffle. Okay, there's a skull. I don't really need that. Need the blue a lot more than I need that particular skull, so we can go right into a famine. So we're just going to move that over. He'll take the skull. And hopefully we have alignment on something good that's not purple. I guess if we truly had to, I will do it. And it does... Oh, no, never mind. We could do it on yellow right now. Though that also doesn't really help us much more. You know what? I might just do it on purple. We get more out of it than if we do it on yellow. So we'll do that. Get that down. Still 3 mana off, but we have one just sitting right up there. So we can do that into a famine. Gonna wait at least 1 turn though. Just wait till he gets a little bit more mana. Especially since we just have an apothecary ready to go anyways. Not gonna bother with him. We're just gonna take a skull into the famine on the skull spammer. And that is pretty close to match. So we'll throw that down now. Go get the mana back up the following turn. Oh, 3 HP. Okay, maybe I should have waited 1 more turn. That's why you calculated it out. Fail. We'll get rid of the color we don't use. It's extra turn 2. Luckily, Kraken will be able to clean that up. And very nice. Another extra turn right there. So we didn't even need to waste anything. And now we could just famine into the skull into the win. Anything we can convert other than green, because I do want to make sure we keep the skull there. That or we just get rid of green and hope the board gives it to us still. Yep, the board still gives it to us. Actually, we get it for free. And there we go. That's the final poke, and down it goes. And that was okay. Also, hello Steve, hello Maximuse, hello Bridget, hello Crash Bang, welcome all, welcome, welcome. And if anyone has any questions, team builds you want me to do, or anything of the such, feel free to leave it in chat. We are having a new Mythic coming out on Friday, and I will be going over all that in the morning when it actually comes out. And yeah. And of course the holidays are around the corner. Let's see. What do we even do here? Probably go for the purple and start getting Kraken. I feel like we're never getting Kraken up. And I'm doing that even further by not going for it again. Though somehow we got mana. Oh, never mind. We got it from the green. I forgot. So we'll take that down. Looks like we're manually taking famine up at this point, which I don't mind doing, particularly against a all goblin team, because all goblins are annoying. I think I'm going to hope he doesn't take this. So I'm going to take this brown so I can yellow into blue next turn. And he does not take it, so that is good. So we just go for the yellow, full mana, get some apothecary, and right in time for a nice famine onto him. I do not even know what the biggest threat is. Actually, I do. It's Fizz Bang. Though, what is the next biggest threat? I guess Grapple Pot. So let's go and double famine that, because I don't want to gaining extra HP constantly. So move that down, get a little bit for our Kraken. Not enough for full though. We didn't get the surge, so we'll just take a purple. Oh wait, could I just taken a blue for a purple? I think I just messed that up. Oh well, fail. He even took it too, so now there's less blues for me to try to aim this with, but I'm still going to go for it. It does indeed miss, but oh well. We'll take the blue, probably try for a skull. If we don't, that's not too big a deal. We could just go throw that into Apothecary, hopefully. And we'll take this for some reds to remove it on the board, and for the extra turn chance, which we didn't actually land, but we had the chance. And we got Famine right in time to be able to famine away the ability right there. And that appears to be what we're doing, just to make sure he doesn't get any value. And now we just need some kind of way to hit her. I think I'm going to leave those skulls there, because he gives us a 5x brown if I do. So might as well claim ourselves a 5x brown, and even take some brown in the process. Skull? Hello, AI? Why is the AI being so weird? Okay, hopefully it'll take it next turn. Oh, that's the wrong skull. Let's try this again. Take that skull. There you go. Oh, wait. No, it still didn't take it. What? The AI knows. The AI is learning that that is a trap. Oh yeah, I'll go move that. I wonder if they actually did change the AI so it knows a little bit better not to just hand the enemy a free 5x like that. But there we go, down it goes. That was really weird. That was like 3 or 4 turns in a row it didn't want to take the skull. It definitely changed in the most recent version. Even though they didn't mention it, I can 100% guarantee the way that the AI functions is slightly different this patch. Normally it's actually easier to fight these days. But it does some really weird moves that are slightly less predictable than what it would normally be. Anyways, into the next battle. More often than not, that's helpful though, because they'll just sometimes miss like a complete extra turn or something, which obviously is bad in almost every situation, unless they're using a spammer. But not too many people really use a single color spam on defend these days. Okay, well, what do we need here? We'll go for... Oh, what do we even go for? I guess we just go and try getting Kraken up. The only problem here is we don't have any available, so we'll just take a brown, I guess. Move that over. At this point, do we go all in, or do we go for the Apothecary? Let's just do that. And we didn't Surge again! Though it is mainly because of the Jinx, though, which is lowering that by quite a bit, by half. And we'll throw the Kraken. Please extra turn. Well, at least we got some of our mana, enough to Apothecary with. Only issue with that, though, is we don't really have a location. We have purple and we have blue. Blue, we definitely don't want to do it on. Purple, I prefer not to, but since it is our only other viable option, it looks like that is what we do. At least we get plenty off the extra turn there. It would be great if we could get that back up just to recast. Get rid of these reds would be really nice, but doesn't seem like we're going to be able to do that. Skull, you can pretty much just ignore. I could try for extra turns there. Oh, hello thing I'm not even looking at. So move that. Oh, well, that kind of solved the issue I had. Perfect. So now we get Apothecary away the reds. Well, first Famine, of course, just to make sure he doesn't do anything there. Apothecary away the reds, which he shouldn't be able to interrupt unless he specifically takes that red to the left. Would be the only way he could mess it up. And let me go Famine. Is that enough damage? I forget what his base damage is. Fail. I should have checked that beforehand. I can get approximation. I think it's about 25. So let's assume it's 25. That's 3. I think you're 13 mana. That's 16, 22, 44, and 44 into 25 is 69. That will not one-shot, but it's close enough. Oh, never mind. Okay, well. What's your base damage then? Oh, no wonder why. He has 31 base damage. I keep forgetting he has everything has higher damage in Guild Wars. We're also the Paragon this week. Couldn't really tell by the fact that we lost like our second battle during the week, but we are a Paragon right now, so our stats are actually quite a bit higher than what they normally would be, since we're getting the bonus stats from everyone else contributing to the Guild Sentinel thing. So yeah, it's the most stats we'll basically ever really have within the within Guild Wars this week. So that's a nice little advantage. Not used to everything being so high. What do we even do here? I guess we throw down... I don't want to wait on the Famine. We don't even need it. We gain so much mana from all of that we don't even need to cast the Famine at this point, or a mana generator or anything. We have Apothecary again. Again, don't really need it though. We'll just throw that down to kill out first slot so we can start poking him with skulls. We now worry about that guy. Get rid of the reds that we don't use. Go get full mana by taking yellow. And... I think we wait a little while. He doesn't have enough mana for me to even try to kill him with. So let's move over the green, throw a Kraken, maybe get the Devour on him. He is really, really weak to Devour. He actually doesn't have the trait, but he gains 20 additional HP. But you can easily just Kraken that and gain all of it. He doesn't have any kind of immunity to Devour. The Goblin King in general, the trait-wise, is probably the worst combination of traits that any legend currently has. His ability was buffed a little while back, and since then his ability is decent at least. But his traits are just so pitiful these days. Also, hello, Junkyard. Hello, Xerix. Let me go throw this famine. Let me double check that's enough damage, though. What is that? 714? No, it's just not. I need to wait. So we'll throw a Kraken for now. Hopefully that will land, and yes. Oh, well, we didn't land our extra turn, but we'll just go throw famine. See if we have any drops. Apothecary into something, and... Whoa. Forgot about that. Should have taken that skull. Forgot. Fail. Well then. Keep forgetting that you can't target her. Oh, the fail. But let's take the skull and down it goes. That could have ended like 2 or 3 turns earlier. But it doesn't make too big a deal. Yeah, we're using the normal mic now. It's all been fixed. It was just some weird thing where it basically made the mic... it was trying to identify the mic as a speaker instead of a actual microphone. Which is weird, because I just have it in a USB drive thingy. Why it did that, I have no clue, but I have fixed it, and everything with the mic should be working as it always does. Yeah, I don't know why. There was like a Windows 10 update thingy, and then the mic just counted as a speaker for whatever reason. Really weird. It's not like it can even go into a speaker jack. It's in a USB drive. I could understand that if you like somehow put a mic into like the little thing on the side where you could put a headphone jack thing, whatever that's called. I don't know the proper name, but I could understand that. But a USB, how on earth does it confuse that? Anyways, I don't know. But that was the issue that it had, and it has been fixed. Do we bother famining? He has literally 0 mana. So I guess we wait. Not really much point in casting against that. Should just go see if we can get ourselves a Kraken and get some damage in there. Move that over. Oh, also, I didn't see what there says. Mind testing a team of Fenrir, Monitor. What's Monitor? Forest Guardian and Mountain Crusher with the Warden Beast class. I don't know if I could change the class. I have tried it before. Normally, you don't really use the Warden too much. Of course, you can use it with the Forest Guardian for the half mana, but there's already so many other ways to do that. It also somewhat blocks if you're using Cabarrus in the team, though that team doesn't appear to be using Cabarrus, so I guess that won't be an issue. But normally, they're like the 2 biggest things that get used in it, Forest Guardian plus Cabarrus, and something like a Mountain Crusher normally would not work. But in that team, it would. Banner is on the one with the Kraken on it, but yeah, we'll go test it. Only if we don't need our hero class for tomorrow, which I don't believe we do, so that'll be fine. Do we bother casting here? I kind of want to throw a Kraken. It has enough spots that it should land, and it does. And we get our Devour off on the useless Goblin King there, or whatever was there. I think it might have actually been in Goblin Rock at that time. Regardless, he has been devoured, and we have taken all of his HP. It probably was a, that probably was a Goblin King. Let me see, was it? Let me go look back in the stream. Yeah, it was a Goblin King, and that one actually had the 20 extra HP. That's what I was just talking about, too. Last slot Goblin King is just horrifically bad against that kind of stuff, because you just get devoured by a Kraken, and then boom, you just made the Kraken gigantic. Look at that HP, 178, without really even doing anything at all. So right here, double check if the famine's enough damage. 7, 6, 13, 26, and 57. That would be 1 off, though we would only need an extra turn, so I will go for it. And now all we have to do is land any possible extra turn, and that will be enough to kill it, so we'll do that right off the green here. That will knock it out. Got another skull, not enough for really doing anything, though. Let's move that over then. Take the blues. Got Apothecary. Can we get rid of reds? We can take quite a bit of reds, but we do not get an extra turn from doing so. Nor... Oh, you know what? We do get a skull, though. I might just still do it. We get enough value out of it that I think it's worth it still, even without the extra turn. It'll get a little bit, but it doesn't even take the mana for any purpose. Is that enough damage right now? No. 1847? Somewhere around there. Move that, move that. If we get a skull poke, that'd be great. Oh, there we go. Perfect. Does that help it too much? Slightly. So let me go and throw down a plague first. Oh, that actually hit HP. How perfect was that? And now famine will be enough damage. And down it goes. Also, hello, Candy! Welcome. And hello, RapPF. Something strange happened today. Was doing tasks on console, 8 battles using 3 troops from Kedar. Use Sunbird, Keeper of Souls, and when you casted Sunbird, a white appeared because of Keeper. Yeah, that's normal. Because it counts as a kill. Oh, wait. Did you kill something on the enemy team? Never mind. Yeah, Keeper triggers when you kill an enemy, so that seems fine. Oh, did it replace your only thing? Yeah, that's mainly just because I believe the trait is triggering first. There used to be something weird with that with Elspeth as well. But yeah. So basically what you did was you used Sunbird. You killed an enemy with your Sunbird. But then the Soul Legion on Keeper of Souls triggered before the Sunbird revived. So it created a white there instead of a Sunbird. So yeah, that is a weird interaction, but yeah, that's just how it currently works apparently. There used to be a couple other issues with that in the past. They tried patching some of them, but apparently there's still some weird synergies. But yeah, like for example, if this Sunbird had like a Keeper of Souls on it, and he killed, let's say, my Apothecary, that's Sunbird would then be replaced with a white instead of another Sunbird at a 50% rate. Yeah, just make sure not to use Keeper of Souls or Cabarrus then with your Sunbird, which normally you wouldn't really need to do for the most part. Because Skull Spam into a Sunbird isn't... well, you wouldn't first slot Sunbird if you were doing Skull Spam with it. But I guess on a pure purple team, I guess you could get away with that. Yeah, it's just a weird trait interaction. Anyways, let's go do the, I believe, last battle of Dungeon. I didn't even do the final one. That would kind of help. Let me go do that. Against Savior. We're up against a Gorgolfa, Draculus, Queen Mab, and Plague. This is actually pretty good because everything on this team gets extremely penalized from not having magic. Gorgolfa only gets 3 explosions, Draculus only has 5 lifesteal, Queen Mab goes down to 0 damage plus however much mana we have, and Plague goes down to only a 2 stat reduction. So if we could really get going before he gets to do anything, we could just disable him to the point that he can't even function due to the Plague magic reduction. So let's give it a shot, and if nothing else, at least we can get some big famines. Normally I would not advise doing a Gorgolfa on your defend team. The AI still uses it pretty clunkily. It's a little bit better than it used to be in the past, but it's pretty bad with it still. Well, let's go take ourselves a blue. We do not have a second blue follow-up, and there's a lot of red on this board that we do not need. We'll stick the green to a brown. Need to get some kind of mana here, even if it's not necessarily filling something. He does not have a famine, or any mana drain for that matter, so we don't need to worry about him doing anything in that regard. We'll just take another double mana. Slowly but surely, we shall get to the point where we need to go. Skull is basically pointless for us to take since he's running a Gorgolfa. We'll get full mana here, and hopefully he'll do something that will help our alignment, and no, not really. Can't even really convert out to red because it will give him too much extra turns and fill his Gorgolfa. So let's go for a yellow into a red here, the red of which does nothing. We'll go for another Skull. That is getting dangerously low. He does have freeze, though I don't need to worry about it much since Apothecary just instant cleanses it. So we can always just make sure we're not frozen. Get the last little bit of mana we need there, and now we finally have a famine. Anything else we need to move around? I do not believe so. Oh, you know what? I think I will go for that purple now. Not to mention he'll gain more mana here anyways. So perfect, we'll go throw this on Gorgolfa so we don't have to deal with that anymore, or at least most of it. Almost dead. This Skull I think I am going to go for just because we are getting very low on our HP. And assuming we don't devour, I do want to make sure we do that. And let me just take this, and there we go, he died. So if we get a random Skull here, we'll be able to hit it. Not going to go for that extra turn. Actually, or do I? I can get a blue into a Skull. It'll decrease our chance of getting a Kraken extra turn, but it will give us 6 additional damage, plus a Skull Pier. I think I'm going to go for it. Though now my Kraken's almost guaranteed to miss. Oh, well, at least we got another green. That slightly made it worth it. So much so, we even got to convert. Never mind. Okay, that was definitely worth it. Not the original plan, but wow. Wow. That's a lot of extra turns. That was like 3 to 4 more extra turns than I was expecting from that. We could even take a purple and try for a brown there. That one might be too risky though. I'm just going to go for the thing already. That does miss, but he doesn't get anything out of it at least. We could take this. I don't need the mana, but I need to make sure he doesn't take it, just in case. And move that over. Wow, this extra turn spam is crazy this time around. And for the final battle too, which is pretty nice. Do we bother famining here? What's the biggest threat? Is there even a biggest threat? I guess I'll take that out, why not? And see if we can Apothecary here. Yellow, we had it earlier, there we go, still has it. So we'll go get another famine. And see what we can do with that. Move that. Still not full mana. Almost there though. We can take a Skull and kill it. And another Skull follow-up would also kill if we can find it. Nope. No extra Skull. We could try Plaguing, though that won't be enough damage. So I guess we just go for a green and Kraken will kill it. And that would be match if he decides to end his turn. There we go. And he did reduce our magic, but not enough to live. And down he goes. Okay, well, that went pretty smooth. How much did we actually score on that? 1662. That's a little low. Well, not extremely low. You can score easily like 1,700, I think, on that battle if you get like a really good mana generation loop going. This team isn't really made for mana generation, though. It's mainly just play it safe. And there we go. A solid 9,300. Well, not solid. It's 8 under. No! But no, 9,300. I'm perfectly fine with that. Really, any score above 9,200 I'm actually perfectly fine with. You can score on average more towards 9,400. But if you lose even once during any of that, it just completely mitigates any of the extra points that you would have gotten from higher teams. Though me randomly losing on Monday definitely doesn't help. Or yesterday, I should say. Actually, it doesn't show it, but we did lose once yesterday. Oh, never mind. You can see by it going in here. Yeah, that was a pretty big fail. It's like, we got Paragon. Oh, time to instantly lose. It doesn't even really make too big a difference if you are or not the Paragon. It's such a trivial amount of stats normally. It's also why we don't bother maxing out the Guild Sentinels anymore. Particularly with the fact that they got rid of the gems, or at least some of the gems that you normally would get. Anyways, let me go do Xeris. Are you still here? If so, let me know if you still need me to go do the team that you mentioned earlier, and I'll definitely make sure to go change my hero class to do so. Alright, let me double check. Do I need to use a hero class for tomorrow for Guild Wars? Tomorrow is Purple Day. Yes and no. No, never mind. I would just use the Umberwolf Purple Spam team. Yeah, I don't need the hero class tomorrow. So if you need me to go test that still, let me know, and I'll go switch to hero class for it. Anyways, let me go run through dungeons real quick. Let's see. Do you lose points for devouring in Guild Wars? You don't necessarily lose points, but if the enemy does more damage than you, you would start losing points. But you need to keep in mind that Devour does not count as actual damage. So it's a lot easier for the enemy to have more damage to you if they're running, let's say, a full AoE team, but you devour out their entire enemy team. You may still win and have a decent amount of damage, but you might lose points because even though they didn't technically kill anything on your team, they still did a similar or more damage than you. But yeah, things like Deathmark, Devour, and a few other similar ones do not count as any damage towards your points, unless they fixed that as of recently. Okay, let me go do the team that Xeris said. Let me go run through dungeons real quick, though, before I do. Actually, I'll go do the team first. Let me see. What do we actually need? We need the hero class, the Warden, all the way towards the right. Oh, actually, it's not all the way, but close enough. Change for free. Change this to a beast, though I believe it's already set. Yep. Because whenever I use this, if I'm ever using a Warden, it will be on a beast. There's really no point in ever using Warden otherwise, unless you're specifically using it for the fact that it is a beast, because its traits are pretty bad at the moment. But let's go use this. Go put it into a Forest Guardian team. You would never use it with anything other than fully traded Forest Guardian. Let's see. Get herself a Mountain Crusher for half mana, weapon, mountain, and I forget exactly what the rest of the team was. Let me see. Where'd it go? We need that. Wait, what is Monitor? Monitor. I have no clue what that is. Monitor? Yeah, what was the Monitor? I don't know what you were trying to type there. Minotaur, do you mean? I forget how to spell that as well. Or Minigore? Though that's not from the kingdom. Though it is a beast. Yeah, I have no clue exactly what you meant there. But let me know what it is so I can actually go put it in the team. And the other one was a Fenrir. Just so we get the really high frontline attack damage. But yeah, what was the thing in second slot that you mentioned? And you said +2 brown. Though once I know what the other one is, I might change my banner accordingly. And yeah, there we go. Yeah, what was the other thing? Let's see. That Windows update ruined the sound on your laptop, did it? Yeah, it messed with a lot of things, the Windows update yesterday. Or 2 days ago, whenever it was. My computer ended up downloading it yesterday. It was really annoying. Let's see. Though the only thing that really messed up for me was my mic. I didn't really see anything else mess up. Or at least yet I haven't. Let's see. Also, hello, Laura. Welcome. And Marcelo, welcome as well. Yeah, Xeris, what was the other troop that you wanted me to use? And while you're answering that, let me go do dungeons. I don't know what it was. You said like Minotaur or something, or Minogore, I don't know. Oh, Minogore, okay, it was Minogore. I just wanted to double check, because you didn't actually say Minogore earlier. Oops, why am I going there? I'm gonna go through dungeons real quick though. Fight, you know what, it's still there. Let's go to the team. From one thing to the other. But yeah, now that we know for sure it's a Minogore, let's just go use Minogore then. Minogore, put that there, boom, boom, boom. And that should be the setup, double brown. Let's see, we don't use purple. What is the minus purple banner that would actually work with this? Isn't there 2 of them? Yes, there's the +2 brown, +1 red, which seems like the better option. And yeah, that's it. It's already the better option, because obviously we wouldn't use +2 brown if we could get an additional color for not doing anything else. So we'll go with this, move that over. Need to make sure we focus on all the browns and just the browns. Get that going. And this doesn't have any way of gaining extra attack, does it? No. Oh, when an enemy casts a spell, that will give an extra attack. Okay, well, that's fine. And we do triple to anything that is lower attack than us. So I guess the first thing we do is start focusing the Sunbird down then. Go throw that down. Get ourselves a Fenrir buff. And you know what? I actually didn't need to do that. I could have just skull spammed it down. Oh, yeah, even more so. It just revived. Hello, Sunbird. There it goes again. Go move that down. I go throw another explosion. I need to go get Forest Guardian up. I honestly, what we should probably just be doing is constantly throwing those 3. I don't even think we need the Minogore for casting. Just go all in skull spam. So right here, purple to skull. Do we have alignment on that? And brown to green. Neither of those appear to do anything. Oh, that's slightly annoying though. Brown to green. That will really get in the way of us being able to explode. Let me go kill this before something happens. We'll go do that so we don't have to deal with it. I can go throw a buff on that if we want it to live, though never mind, Infernus already killed it. He's 1 step ahead of me. Actually, Infernus might have just team-wiped this. Do I take the skull, or do I let him Infernus? Is that enough to kill? No, because it doubles. Do we have alignment right now? That's another thing. No. But yeah, I don't think this team's gonna work, because you're converting out the color you need. With the brown convert. And we do not have anything we can do here. I guess we just take a brown surge and hope he doesn't do something devastating. I'll take that to the other side, though, just so he doesn't get mana. And he still ends up getting mana somehow. And that leaves us with just our hero, which is basically just instant dead. But yeah, this hero class is generally not used at all, ever. Because the only thing you can ever use it with is basically what we're kind of doing now. Normally it's more used towards a Cabarrus, though. Like something along the lines of a hero using a purple weapon of some kind, followed by a giant spider, Forest Guardian, and Cabarrus is what I believe is normally used. Something along that line. Actually, never mind. The Forest Guardian Cabarrus would be switched. Actually, that whole order would have probably been switched. It would be hero, first slot with a purple weapon, giant spider. Or it would, actually, let me just go show it. Let's see. Giant spider. Forest Guardian. What was the other thing we needed? Cabarrus. And we just need the purple weapon lead. Purple red. I forget what weapon would even be used with this. I know I used to sometimes use a last slot. Well, that doesn't work anymore because it's too weak. The Burning Scythe. Death Kneel. I wouldn't be surprised if I tried using Death Kneel with it. Unfortunately, it's pretty bad. Why is there so many bad red-purple weapons? Actually, why am I not even under red-purple right now? There we go. I'm like, wait, why is there so many? Oh, never mind. There's Staff of Madness. Oh, yeah, that's what I used to use with it. I remember now. Yeah, it was this. It was Staff of Madness, Giant Spider, Cabarrus, Forest Guardian. Though the only issue with that is I don't know if you actually have Staff of Madness. There are alternatives, but nothing... it's really weird. For whatever reason, Staff of Madness is the only full AoE red weapon that that has a 1-to-1 rate boost ratio off its magic. Every other red-purple full AoE weapon, for whatever reason, does not have a 1-to-1 ratio on its magic. It's really weird. Anyways, we would switch our banner now to focus more towards the Giant Spider. Probably a double green banner of some kind. You know, I think just double green would be the banner, because I don't believe the other minus banners actually work for it. So let's just switch over. Oh, wait. Never mind, that's not double green. So yeah, we just go double green there then. Get the really quick Giant Spider. That would also give Forest Guardian better mana generation. And we just go with something like this. Oh yeah, you would never need to trait Forest Guardian. There are very few classes you would ever need to trait. Actually, I can go through them right now. There are very, very, very few. Let's see. Let's go get our Devour. Throw this on Infernus so we don't have to deal with him. I almost just threw that on the last slot, but he actually has immune to it. That would have been a huge fail if I actually did that. He could still get damaged, but of course he would never be able to be devoured by it. Take the brown. Take the poke. Oh yeah, I forgot. He has Stone Skin too. That's slightly annoying, because we can't hit through it, or at least not as easily. There goes the explosion, but it helps us more than it hurts us. Take the other green. I actually probably should check to see if we had a Giant Spider first, but oh well. Do we have alignment? And if not, we could just Giant Spider into an alignment, most likely. And yeah, I guess we'll do this, actually. Move that down. That gives us a cast right there. Get that. Got all of our barriers. Got pretty much everything we need now. Of course, we get barriered on everything from the Forest Guardian. Out of all the Skull Spammers, I do have to personally say, some people still prefer it, but I do find Forest Guardian to be the worst out of the three. Between Infernus, Sakima, and... what have I said, Infernus? Inferno King, Sakima, and Forest Guardian. Of the three, I do consider Forest Guardian the worst. I consider Sakima the best, Inferno King the second best, and then just Forest Guardian as the worst of the three. The biggest problem with Forest Guardian is it's way too limited to really heavy beast teams, whereas the other ones can be used pretty much in anything you want. That alone basically is the main thing. And the fact it doesn't actually have any damage, it just has barrier, which is still nice, but more often than not, I would much rather have the damage to speed up the battle than having the barriers just to make sure we don't take damage. Though in Guild War context, I guess that's better. But in Guild Wars, you have even less options to try to synergize with a Forest Guardian. That's the only issue with that. So we'll go with that. Throw that down. But yeah, for the most part, this class doesn't really get used for the exact reason you can kind of see. It's still okay. It's definitely not the worst of all the hero classes. But it's impossible to really use efficiently without a fully traded Forest Guardian. But yeah, as far as hero classes that are decent, fully traded, Archer, yes. Assassin, yes. Bard, yes. Death Knight, yes. Dragon Guard, yes. Knight, no. Mechanist, yes. Necromancer, no. Oracle, due to other options, I'd probably say no. Orb Weaver, it's kind of unique, but it's too weird to realistically be used, so no. Priestess, no. Sorcerer, very situational, probably no these days. Only its first trait is particularly needed. Titan, yes, though definitely not your first option. Warden, no, and Warlock, no. Actually, Warlock might be one of the worst out of all of them. It's not even as good as a Courage, and is about the same cost of a Courage as well. But yeah, all it does is gain 3 attack when dealing skull damage, and it must be in first slot for that to actually trigger. Whereas with the Courage, it gives 2 attack and 2 life, not just to itself, but to all allies, and it doesn't even need to be in first slot. So yeah, this is so ridiculously useless. Not to mention his other 2 traits are also pretty bad. Yeah, that's basically a rundown on all the hero classes. Let's go clear this out. And, oh yeah, I need to go do dungeons. Well, I guess we'll go do that after this battle. Claim our free souls. Would you consider Shegra a skull spammer? Yeah, Shegra's a skull spammer. It's actually one of the few gem spawn converters that are actually pretty good. There's 3 of them, if I'm not mistaken. There's Deckhand, Green Slime, and Shegra. And of the 3 of them, Shegra is definitely the best, for sure. It's also a really good anti-red troop, which seems kind of weird because it also uses red. But I would never really advise using Shegra on a red day, because it basically is the best anti-red in the game right now, due to them kind of removing or modifying some of the old anti-reds. Like Tall used to be an anti-red, but then they changed him to try to buff him, but made him even weaker in doing so, which is funny. But yeah, Shegra, normally all you have to do is just get 1 mana generator into him. Doesn't even necessarily need to be red. You can even just use an apothecary to do it, and then just throw him down, and then boom, you deny out all the reds. And assuming that there's enough reds on the board, you'll even get really nice skull damage out of it. You can use a red loop team with it too. Normally I don't bother though. Though if you were going to do that, Infernus or just a front line with Pyromania would end up working decently for it. Let me go do dungeons. I keep like poking at it and then not actually doing it. Let's go clear through them. It'll take like 2 minutes, not even. Let's explore. Get that in there, and let's go firebomb them all down. What's the best team combo for the Mystic Naga? Best. That is questionable. I do so many weird teams with her. I'm actually not even sure what the best is. I know it's ran with mainly full AoE, full AoEs of, what are they called? The true damage. Full AoE true damage is normally what it gets ran with. Specifically the build, I am not sure of the absolute best, but we can definitely go mess with something and go see what we can create real quick. It's not really a troop I use that often, mainly because I much prefer using Crimson Bat or Draculus. Both of them have a lower mana cost to use their true damage, and they're just a lot easier to use against things like Famine, Scion, Spirit Fox, stuff like that. And you don't need to constantly need to worry about their really high mana. Well, they still have pretty high mana cost, but compared to Uriali, it's much lower. Crimson Bat's 15, Draculus is 20, and Uriali is 22, making her the highest mana cost true damage in the game, though also the highest damaging as well. So normally I prefer having a slightly lower damage, but being able to get it off quicker. What do we do here? Oh, we get to skull poke him. That wouldn't be the first time I'd randomly take a move that doesn't take a skull when we could have won. Good night, GSW. See you later. Yeah, the issue with time zones. What do we do here? We're done the reds. Go get a bunch of green, get a skull. Okay, I gave him way too much right there. We could actually lose this, which would be really, really sad. But we are in a position where we're heading towards that right now. Let me go throw both the AoEs. Hopefully he'll take the skull. No, he doesn't. Okay, well now I took the skull a little late, but at least he still doesn't get much value out of it. Anything else we need to go move around? Well, let's throw Phoenix. Go take our mana next turn. Hopefully we'll have some good alignment for it. He gains a lot of mana there, but he does give us the free turn. I do have a skull, though at this point it's probably not even worth taking. We'll smooth right over. Ideally we'd want to take the purple there. Again, we'd want to take a purple, but none. Oh, excuse me. None are available. So let's move that over, move that over. Rowan, dead. Almost dead. 3 HP. Oh, there we go. Skull down. Let's see. What's a good team for Emperor Corvash? You just got him today. Normally, I run him with the Corvash Valkyrie Justice combo. With anything in the last slot that can mass freeze is normally what I run it with. Other than that, you could run it with a Gorgolfa into a Corvash, or you can run it with a Ragnagord into a Corvash into an Apothecary, and just keep getting the mana flowing through it. But yeah, Apothecary or Valkyrie are the two core troops you'd want to use to assist it. It's really important when you have a Corvash to constantly give him mana, because him having mana denies out your enemy's mana, or at least on the first two opposing troops on the enemy team. But yeah, Uriali team. You have a new question. What was your question, Plumpko? Also, did I not answer your first question? Let me know if I didn't. But yeah, what was your question, Plumpko? And I'm going to go do an Uriali team. So, Uriali. I'm feeling like Mercy would be the way to go. A Mercy behind it, though. Oops, if I can type her name right. How many times will I say it wrong? Let me just type in Naga. There we go. We'll get it right eventually. So, you. Uriali. Pure true damage. Gets the Naga bonus thingy. Likes having undeads and likes having Nagas on the team. I know one thing I ended up doing with it when it first came out was like double Merilith with something else. I think it was actually legitimately this team. I know for sure this isn't the best option, but it is surprisingly decent and also somewhat cheap given the other options. It's a epic, which if you already have a copy of, you just got it twice and then boom, you're done with that. And an ultra rare that if you have Uriali, you most likely already have the Bone Naga that it summons. And then you just go with the +1/+1 into a, I believe it's red-green or red-yellow. I guess we just go red-green to ensure that we keep getting the Meriliths up. Where to go? The only issue with this is it has really, really short casts, but the casts are so short that it ends up not doing much damage. Because Merilith only does 6 damage each time, and definitely is not the most consistent extra turner. This definitely isn't the best team for it, by the way. I just know that this was one of them that I messed around with. It still functions. I would probably think that the absolute best would be something along the lines of Gorgotha first slot, Mercy into it, and then one other thing to support it, probably as a damage source if possible. So just do that, get our Marilith up, and now we just start going crazy with them. And almost every time we should be able to get Marilith full mana, or at least very close to such. So let's take a red there, get Marilith back up. Hopefully get a Marilith to a Marilith. We'll take that first though, just to get all of our manas. Always cast our Yali when we have it, and just keep going from there. And as you can see, it is very heavy on the true damage. And you just keep repeating that until we win off of true damage AoE. And that's match almost. No, he killed the thing I could have done to kill them. Oh well, we can Yali to get all of our summon back. And that is match, though he almost did kill us at the end if he could have gotten lucky enough with the Dragon Soul a couple times. But yeah, it was along those lines. Anything that can press a lot of true damage very quick is basically what a Yali team is. Anything that does full AoE true damage is something that you would use with her. That almost doesn't even matter what it is. If it does true damage to all enemies, things like Crimson Bat, Marilith, Draculus, that new bat from Golvania, that one brown-red thing, anything that does full AoE true damage to the enemy. Also things like Azura and stuff, which might have the chance of doing true damage. This thing has a 1 in 4 chance of doing it. Yeah, even stuff like that would be pretty decent. But anything that does that is what you would put up with it. And just make sure you have at least 1 or 2 mana generators. Let's see. 7th day watching in a row. Oh, no problem. Oh, so Plumko, what was your question? I didn't see what it was. Oh, did you claim dungeon rewards? Yeah, I claimed the dungeon reward. Sometimes I forget, but yeah, I did it today. Let me see, dungeon, offer, reward. Yep, we got the gem bounty. Let's see, you also have a question. When, let's see, wait, did I skip the other question? No, I didn't. Normally I would. Let's see, you also have a question. Why do you do the 3 dungeons? Wait, when you do the 3 dungeons, you get those weird kind of gems. What are those? Oh, those weird kind of gems. After you have completed the Wrong Kingdom, Drifting Sands unlocks the ability to claim those gems. But after you've completed the Blighted Lands questline, you will unlock this thing over here, the Soul Forge, and you use all of these gems in here. You can also see them by clicking this little gem icon thing in the corner. And there are all these resources. Currently, shards, the only purpose of these all the way at the bottom is to use them for, convert them into diamonds. You basically have no purpose in converting them into anything other than diamonds. You technically can convert it into the other 6, but all 6 of these are, based on what currently is in the game, are much worse than the diamonds themselves. So you're better off just doing the diamonds. Also, for whatever reason, they both have a 100 soul cost when it actually costs less shards to do these. So it's technically more expensive in a way to do these than it is to do the diamonds. Technically. But, yeah, I would just say going all in on diamonds would be the best way to go. As far as these other ones, these 6 color thingies are used for basically 2 things. If you are a newer player, they are used for these 6 summoning stones. Every single one of these summoning stones changes either weekly or a couple times a week. I actually don't know. I was acting really weird last week, but maybe it functions correctly now and stays the entire week. I'm not 100% certain. But basically what these are is they have a 1 in 8 chance of giving you one of any of the 8 troops that it shows. There's 2 commons of a couple copies, 2 rares of a couple copies, an ultra rare, and a epic. This is particularly good for claiming epics that you don't have, or any of these 8 troops that you might see that you don't have. Like, let's say you've been wanting to make a 4x Goblin team, but you were missing Fizzbang. Well, you could go try for it right there, and stuff like that. There also is quite a bit of a demand in the community for them to make this quite a bit more focused, so that it wasn't as random as it currently is. Not sure if we're actually going to get them to agree to that. That's one of the questions that are being asked next Q&A, if they would ever do the Q&A. Hopefully they'll get around to that soon. I think they said that they might be doing it tomorrow, so hopefully that will be the case. But yeah, every single one of these has 8 different ones that can be crafted in a given week. Like this one has Rock Troll, which is pretty nice to go for this week, and stuff like that. Unfortunately, you don't get to target it. Cockatrice and Goblin Rocket would be nice to have there. But yeah, just always keep an eye on them. They might be useful. And they cost 50 of the little color ones and 100 of the souls. The other thing that these are used for are weapons, though unless you are a late game player, I would not really advise getting the weapons because many of them are very, very expensive, particularly in the soul category to obtain. The Dawnbringer, for example, costs 1.3 million souls, wherever it is, and is currently the most expensive item to basically obtain in the entire game with how many souls it costs. So yeah, it's quite expensive. As far as diamonds, these are the most useful resource out of all of them, and they are used to craft legends and mythics. These switch on a weekly basis as of currently, and as of currently, there's also 4 legends and 4 mythics that are available each week. They might be expanding this to have more than this in the future, but as it currently stands, it's 4 and 4. So every single week you can just check these, and if there's ever a legend or a mythic that you need, you can craft them out of diamonds, among a few other resources. Most people use these for either a famine or fair Shra, if it would ever come around. A lot of people are waiting for a fair Shra. It has been months since we got a fair Shra, and the 2 times that fair Shra did come up, no one actually had the resources to be able to buy it. So yeah, everyone's kind of holding out for one at the moment, but there's plenty of legends that you can craft too that you might need. Currently, none of them are really worth it. Not a single one of these 8s are worth it at the moment. But things like Dragon Soul, Corvash, Christina, stuff like that would be pretty nice to craft, legend-wise, if you don't already have one of them. Oh yeah, sorry, Plumko. What was your question? I know I missed one in there. Let's see, you have a question. In Guild Wars, your defend team today was 0-8 at the bottom. According to your PvP battle log, you have both won and lost to defense in Guild Wars. Is there a bug? I wouldn't be surprised if there was, though I am not aware if there is one. But yeah, there's always weird bugs when it comes to stuff like that. I have not specifically seen any with it. I actually went 3-10 both the days. So yeah, I'm not quite sure. I know quite a few of the defend things. You have to keep in mind it might be from the actual guild. They could be battling you through PvP. Because just because you check this, and let's say Interim 2 was the guild that we're up against today. Actually, it might be, I don't even know. But let's just say, for example, Interim 2 is the guild that we're up against today. There's a good chance that this person, assuming that we're up against them today, they battled me via the Guild War system. But there's no way currently in the game to guarantee that this person was indeed the person that fought us in Guild Wars, even if this is the guild that we're up against, because he could have just fought us in PvP. So you do have to keep that in mind as well. And not just because it shows someone who was indeed in your Guild War, or in the opposing guild of the current day, that doesn't necessarily mean they fought you from the Guild War. They could have just fought you just randomly in the PvP. Yeah, or it could just be glitched, who knows. Is Scorpius worth it? No, Scorpius is not worth crafting. There are very few teams that get used with it. You only really use it with pure browns with like a Gurgulfa lead. There's also very few options you can use to poison assist it. At this current moment in time, there's actually only one in the entire game, and that is the that one dragon, the Drake, I believe it's called. Right? What is it called? No, not Drake. What is it called? Actually forget what it's called now. Oh, Wyvern. It was a Wyvern. The Wyvern's currently the only brown in the entire game with the ability to poison. So there isn't really much use for that, since that's like the only thing that you get to do to assist it with its trait. If they ever add a really nice brown that can poison, I'm pretty sure Scorpius will start to get used quite a bit in a team of like Gurgulfa, that new troop, Scorpius plus Mercy, or something along those lines. As it currently stands, it's still okay. I used to use it for Guild War. I don't think I currently have it under my slot, though, no. I used to run it with, like, a... let's see, what did I used to run it with? I don't have the correct hero class at the moment for it. But I used to run it with a pure brown-yellow with Bard. What am I doing? With Gurgulfa, Guard Avatar, Prismatic Shard using a Bard hero class with a last slot of... Oh, never mind, that was the last slot. Wait, what was the other troop then? Oh, duh. The Scorpius. Let's go build a Scorpius team without Scorpius and Scorpius. Also, you don't necessarily need to have poison with your Scorpius team. You can use him purely for the fact that he is impervious plus... Oops, wrong order. That was the right order for the Prismatic Orb. But yeah, that's what I used to use for brown and yellow Guild War days. I ended up stopping, though, because it's way too bad against Scion and Famine. But, yeah, it's quite a bit of fun to use. You put the Prismatic Orb in the guard. You get a huge buff with it. You get 2 to all stats to everything per turn. It's a pure brown-yellow team, which is really, really weird. But it does work due to Gurgulfa. And, of course, because of that, you just set it as a brown-yellow banner, wherever that is. I can go show it real quick. It's not going to function as good because I'm using the wrong hero class. But it'll still get the job done. But anyways, let's go and just throw it into something. Yeah, it's getting half the stats per turn what it would normally be doing. What do we do? Also, you don't necessarily need guard. I mainly just did that so we had something to throw the stats into while still gaining all the stats. because you need something on this team if you were running this similarly to this that would be able to use the armor buff. Otherwise, you would use Gorgolfa, something, and then Scorpius would be the order. So probably like a Gorgolfa, Weavern, one other troop, and then Scorpius would most likely be the case. Well, we're getting a really bad start right now. And he has a Ragnagor too, and we did not get the red. So here's goes his explosion. We'll just throw down ourselves a skull, see if we get a yellow there. And we do not get our yellow. We'll just go for a brown, and apparently you just go all in Gorgolfa at this point. He does not go for either extra turn. So thank you for that. Gives us the Gorgolfa right there. That gives us Prismatic for sure, which we can just throw straight into our guard, and hopefully that will extra turn for us on something. And can you end your turn? There we go. I need this to not hit on red. Can we get lucky enough for that to happen, or do I not risk it? I think I'm not going to risk it. We'll just do that instead. Take everything else. Throw the Scorpius. He is doing way too much armor damage to that, but keep getting our stats. And can we get another Scorpius in there? That'd be pretty sad if we died to that Draculus. I don't think we would, though. We're gaining enough stats that we normally wouldn't. And now we can just throw the guard. Before I do, though, let me go throw this into it. And that gives us all of our mana right back. Throw that for some damage. Get our silences. Get our mana right back up, and that would be the match for it. Normally we can 2-cycle this. And there we go. And down it goes. Shadow Dragon also poisons everything. I was talking about brown troops that poison everything. There's currently only one in the entire game. If we type in brown and type in poison, brown and then type in poison, multiple will show up because of other things being shown. But as far as the actual ability, did I just spell poison wrong? Yes, I did. Fail. I sometimes try typing it with double I. Okay. But yeah, if we go through every single one, the ones that currently have poison include... oh, never mind. There's another one. There's the Bone Scorpion, but I don't really count Bone Scorpion. It's like a common and pretty weak. So actually I lied. There is more than one. There's two. There's Bone Scorpion, and then there is Weavern, wherever it is. And that's it. There's Weavern and Bone Scorpion, and I guess Sand Cobra, but you can't really count that either because of how bad it is. I'm not even going to bother. So basically Weavern is the only option because Sand Cobra is ridiculously weak, and Bone Scorpion is slightly better, but it's still pretty bad. It's just destroy a row, poison a random enemy for every skull destroyed. So you could potentially just fully poison the enemy team. But that's all it does. It doesn't do any damage or anything else on top of that. So generally you just always go with the Weavern, which is a double last slot hit. I mean the first 2 slot hit, and then the last 2 slot poison, which is like the perfect synergy because you want to be damaging the stuff that you can't hit, and you need those poisons to double kill with Scorpius. So it actually works out perfectly, as weird as that may seem. Yeah, I know, Bone Scorpion, but there actually technically is 3. Though realistically, there's only Weavern. But yeah, I lied. There's technically 3. It's just both of them are commons that basically would never be used ever. I almost forgot that Sandcroper is even a troop as well. That thing is like completely non-existent. They ended up nerfing him before he came out. He was originally going to be like a 9 or 10 mana cost troop or something. But he was going to have Charm on top of the other stats that he also does, the other effects. But they ended up getting rid of the Charm, and in doing so, they basically made him useless. If they made him a 9 mana cost troop that also had Charm, it would actually still be used. No one really uses it because it doesn't, but it would have been useful if it did have that Charm. I guess they were just afraid of it being too strong. Yet they, like a few weeks later, they end up adding Wisp, so maybe that wasn't the case. Actually, well, I don't think it was a few weeks after. I think it was actually a few months after, but still. They went and made the Sandcrober almost useless, and then they're like, okay, let's go fix that and add a Wisp instead. And of course, everyone knows what Wisp was like when it first came out. It was just insane, fully empowered. Had mana generation, so it got up even quicker. It was really annoying. It was actually, the time went before its nerf, it was almost the best troop in the game as a ultra rare. Definitely very close to top 5. Or at least pre-nerf. These days it's not useless, but not really worth using in most instances. Not compared to before anyways. Oh, down it goes. Hello, William. Welcome. Should you craft Def or wait for Fair Shra? Wait for Fair Shra, for sure. 100%. Santa's gonna bring us Fair Shra in the Soul Forge. Wouldn't that be funny? If, you know, that could happen. It could be that Fair Shra will become craftable on Christmas Day. Because Christmas Day is the reset day. That would be really, really funny if it does. The amount of jokes that will be made about that. I really hope that does become a thing. What do you think about Gorgolfa, Ragnagord, Weavern, and Scorpius? Normally you don't need Gorgolfa plus Rag, but yes, I guess that could work. It's a little bit of a really heavy investment into just Weaver and Scorpius. Normally you would need a third damage source as well, because Scorpius as your only damage source after the, Weavern as your only damage source after the Scorpion cast is normally not a good idea, because it's pretty low damage. I think it's like 25 damage to 2 troops, which is a total of 50, which in early game would probably work out okay. But this late in the game, you normally need to be doing about 100 damage plus per cast to really keep up with opposing teams and what currently gets used in the game. Like right there, KrissTigger just did 30 to everything. That's 120 damage total right there. Even a Dragon Soul's doing, assuming max dragons on the team, can hit as high as 80. And without it, does more towards a 50-something, but it also gains a bunch of mana back. Whereas a Weavern just ends its turn. Alright, well, right now, let's go get a Fair Shra. Kill whatever it touches. Or actually, never mind, we don't even need it yet. We'll just throw that down. Oh, come on. Let me get rid of stuff. Get rid of the reds. Go throw down a Dragon Soul, and at this point, we might as well just full AoE kill it. Though, before I do, let's get rid of something annoying. Actually, I probably should have Dragon Souled that, just in case it revives. Let me move that over. Did we take a skull? No, it's not worth it. Oh, never mind. Let's not take a skull. It takes a skull. Good, it doesn't revive. And here, have a Fair Shra. And down it goes. What should you do instead of a Rag? Let me see. So what is that team again? Let me go visualize it. Let's see. We have a Scorpius, a Gorgolfa. Let me see, Gorgolfa. Get the Weavern in there. And what do we need? We need red. And red-blue. Unfortunately, I don't think you have a red-blue-brown. Though, actually, does one even exist? Never mind. You might not have one because it doesn't even exist. Never mind. Oh, no, there's one. There's War. Though that would be way too high of a mana cost to use. So realistically, we'd only be able to cover a brown-red or a brown-blue. In that case, I guess Corvash is fine. Corvash. Get that nice disable with the Gorgolfa. And we can just go with that. We don't use red. What's the minus red banner? Frozen. Is that worth it? Not really, because it doesn't give it to any of our mana generators. Though it does give it to Corvash, which is pretty useful. Might just be better off sticking with brown-yellow, though. Is there another minus red banner? I don't think there is, currently. Oh, yes, there is. Never mind. Unicorn banner. +2 purple, +1 yellow. That is also even less useful, because I don't really need the purple benefit. So we'll stick with a brown-yellow, it looks like. But yeah, Gorgolfa, Corvash, Weavern, and Scorpius. And we'll be able to use the Weavern's poison afterwards as well. Oh, we do need to look out to make sure we don't accidentally use this against things that have immune to poison. If you're ever using a Scorpius team, always make sure that both the last 2 slots on the enemy team don't have immune to poison. There are a lot of troops, particularly, there's 4 different traits that have immune to poison. There's Sturdy, the Undead thing, whatever it's called, whatever the Dwarf one is called, the Reinforced or whatever it is, and Impervious. There are 4 different traits that all have the immune to poison, so just always double check to make sure that they don't have immune to it. But I throw that down, get our double poison, get our double tap. And want to try getting our Gorgolfa here so we can actually get our mana flowing. Unfortunately, it's not really cooperating with us. I guess we'll just take some Corvash mana. Not really that much, but every little bit counts. Go throw down a Gorgolfa and start getting everything flowing. Almost full mana on him. 1 more Gorgolfa will be good to go. Once we get that up, if we can get that up, we'll try for an extra turn there. We don't get it, but we get plenty of our manas. I'm waiting on my second cast on this for when we can actually poison the front 2 line. We could either go for a blue surge chance or take the guarantee yellow. I think I'm going for the surge though, and I do indeed get it. And we'll wait a turn and throw that onto the front line so he doesn't get to do anything there. And trying to get Scorpius up now, so we'll go throw the explosion. He only need 1 mana. But there we go. We're not frozen on blue, so we can go take that. Are we frozen on green? That we are, so I can't throw that, but we can go for a double kill. And then we just throw the Scorpius into that. And it does not double hit if there's only 1 left, which is somewhat unfortunate. I always hate the troops that don't do that. But, oh well, doesn't matter. Corvash kill, and down it goes. But yeah, something along the lines of that would end up working out pretty well. I believe I even ran this in Guild Wars for when it really first came out. Hey, a Celestial Trait's done, nice. Pretty sure the first week it ever came out, this was like the first team I ran with it in Guild Wars. But yeah, Gorgolfa, Corvash, Weavern, Scorpius. not too bad. Yeah, Scorpius, pretty average. Its ability is very, very strong, but there's very few things that you can actually use a double poison against due to how many immunities are. Though the biggest value he really gets is just his impervious plus the +1 bonus to all rounds per turn. That alone makes him pretty viable, even if you don't intend to cast him a single time during the entire duration of a battle. You can simply put him in last slot for the purpose of a last slot impervious plus the stat gains that he has. Always a good option with Gorgolfa. Because one of the issues Gorgolfa also has, which normally doesn't come up that much, but it's really bad when it gets magic reduced, because almost all of his explosions are based on his magic. What do we need here? We'll go for Dragon Soul. Oh, a free reds! I mean purples. I don't know my colors. Could have taken them. Didn't go for it. Oh well. Hello, Dishrow. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yes, 10 Celestials, 20,000 souls, and 4k gems is how much you need to craft a Fairish Ra. Every single mythic in the entire game costs that much, with the only exception being Xenos. And the only reason Xenos costs more is because he is Soulforge exclusive. Same as how the Dawnbringer is Skullforge exclusive. I believe every new piece of mythic that they add specifically to the Soulforge will basically only be available through the Soulforge. That seems to be the plan that they're going with it. They did accidentally leak them into some areas of the game, though. I believe it was possible to get them off like the $50 pack thing or something. I believe they fixed that, though, in the most recent patch, if I'm not mistaken. Not 100% sure, because no one has reported getting one since. So I wouldn't really know. Through the Christine X there, and Fairish Ra, the final poke. Yeah, all mythics cost the same. That's how it always works. Oops. So yeah, if I go back to the hero, or not the hero, to the games, to the dungeon. I mean, not to dungeons. To the, I really wish that'd bring me back to the previous screen. To the games, to the Soulforge. But yeah, if we go over troops, every single one of the mythics costs the same. So like Oriali will always be that. 4,000 gems, 20,000 souls, 10 Celestials. Same as Scorpius, same as Stonehammer, same as Death. All of them. The only one that's ever an exception is Xenos and any other exclusive mythic that's only Soulforge. And for these, I assume you would need 3 weapons for each of them. 300 gems, 50,000 souls, which is slightly higher amount of souls, and 4,000 diamonds. So the only additional cost that you have for these exclusive ones is the gem cost, and the 30,000 soul cost, and the 3 weapons, which can add quite a bit more cost, because that's normally, assuming they all go based on the same pricing, that's 300,000 souls, 150 gems, and a few other resources, I think like 9 Celestials, and actually we could just look at one of them. So yeah, 150 gems, 300,000 souls, 1,800 of the little color things, and 9 Celestial Trait Stones on top of what it says. So even though technically this doesn't have a Celestial Trait Stone cost on it, the exclusive ones compared to these, it actually does cost 9 Celestials, because you need to get all 3 of the little weapon things. Difference is Dawnbringer is very useful, while Xenos is Terabad. Though there is one purpose for a Xenos. He is required on every platform except mobile, though mobile will have it too in the future. He is required for you to craft for an achievement. If we go over to Steam right here. Also, we were the first person on Steam to 100%, by the way. Let's see. Where'd it go? I have no clue where it is in here. There he is. But yeah, one of the things is unlock ritual, or dark ritual, unlock the troop Xenos. And basically the only way to do that is to actually craft him. So even though he's 100% useless, this is the one thing that makes him not useless. And that will be applicable to mobile players eventually too. But yeah, he gets his own achievement, because that's the only reason anyone would ever craft him, because of how bad he is. I'm really surprised they actually didn't buff him at all. Normally they bring mythics in a little bit weaker, just so they could buff them later, but they, for whatever reason, have not ever buffed Xenos yet. He could definitely use one. No one ever uses them. They just craft them so they have a copy of him, and that's it, for completionist purposes. No one realistically uses them. Even the teams that he sometimes gets used in, like with an Oriali, which is actually not that bad, but it's nowhere near as good as using Oriali, which is full AoE true damage instead. So yeah, just pretty much no point. The best synergy troops with him aren't even worth using because they can be synergized with other stuff even more efficiently. So we'll go throw this down. I wish his summon was also a guaranteed chance, kind of like how it is with, what's his name? With Sir Guild Wars, Sir Gawain. Sir Gawain has a 100% chance to summon 1 to 3 troops. If they did the same thing for Xenos, instead of making it, I forget what the condition is for, I think he has to get a kill. But yeah, if they made it so he had a 100% chance of doing it, that would make him so viable. We'll go throw the Dragon Soul down, or at least for Guild Wars anyways. Probably still be useless in PvP. But if you could do actual damage while having a 1 to 3 summon every single time, that is pretty potent for Guild Wars. And we'll throw that down. Good or bad? Is Jotnar good or bad? I would never bother using him as your main team. I personally only ever use him if I specifically need a burn. The particular team I would run him in is Rock Troll, Dark Troll, Elma Grim with a Yarrow there if you do not have an Infernus. But yeah, I basically only use him for the burn. I personally hate using him for his ability. Almost every troop that has a double gem spawn I just absolutely despise because they miss so often that I just don't care for using them. I would much rather have a more consistent convert or spamming only one color than bothering with a Yarrow. It just doesn't really work out as well. So top 3 Mythics, Plague, Infernus, and Draculus. I actually wouldn't consider Plague one of the absolute best, though he has been getting quite a bit more usage as of recently, mainly because of how many Krakens there have been around. But I would say the top 3 are probably Infernus, Famine, and Fairish Ra would be the top 3. Infernus because he has such ridiculously high damage output, and also has some mana generation on top of that. What did I just say? Fairish Ra because of the soul gain, and because he also has the highest single target damage in the entire game. Which is something that doesn't get brought up much either. But yeah, he can hit really ridiculously high. With only one of him, he can hit upwards of 120. And with multiple of him, like if you had 3, I think he can hit like a 240, which is very ridiculously high compared to many other options. What was the other one that I just mentioned? Oh, and Famine, because you need Famine for the mana drain. Famine also has a particularly high single target damage. It doesn't get as high as a Fairish Ra, but it's normally enough to one-shot, and that's the only thing that really matters, is if it one-shots or not. It doesn't really matter if Fairish Ra does like 200-something damage if you only needed like a 110 to actually kill the target that you're trying to hit. Oh, as a new player with limited diamonds so far, does that mean you're hoping a Ra doesn't show up in the Forge? Well, it wouldn't really matter for you too much. If it shows up now, will that mean it won't get it again for quite some time? No. Currently, the Soul Forge is 100% random, and it does not run off of any schedule. It will run off of some kind of schedule in the future, but at this current moment in time, it is purely random. So it could be like 5 years. No, just kidding. It could be like weeks or months until we get a Fairish Ra, and we could just randomly get Fairish Ra like 4 weeks in a row. But yeah, once we see a Fairish Ra, it doesn't really matter at this current moment in time on if it will... It doesn't have any effect on when it will occur. So for example, in the Soul Forge right now, we have, let's say, the Soul Forge, we have ourselves a, Stonehammer. I think Stonehammer has come like 2 or 3 times this month. He could come literally every single week for the next 10 weeks, and that could be a thing. It's completely random, and it seems to keep prioritizing the same useless troops, unfortunately. But yeah, it will be changed in the future. They know the issue with that, because obviously there are still some Mythics that have basically never been in rotation. For example, Fairish Ra. But they will be addressing that in the future. But that's not currently changed, so at this moment, it's just random. Was Fairish Ra ever available to purchase? Yes. It was available the first 2 weeks the Soul Forge was ever available, which meant literally no one was able to craft him, because the 2 weeks that he was craftable, no one realistically had 4,000 diamonds, unless they bought a bunch of the $5 packs back when you could unlimited buy them. But that was a glitch, and it's not available anymore. You can only buy one of the packs per day now from the dungeons. There was at one point when it first came out, you were able to buy, I think, infinite of these on mobile and console versions, but they ended up patching that pretty quickly. So unless there was someone that did that, no one really had access to them that quickly. So basically no one realistically has crafted a Fairish Raw unless they utilized that glitch and spent a lot of money. Actually, if you did it that way, I think a Fairish Raw would cost you somewhere around like almost like $150 if someone did it that way. Maybe almost more towards 200. That would have been an insane amount of money. But for some people, that might have been worth it. But anyways, yeah. Hopefully, Fairish Raw will be next week or sometime in the very, very near future. There's a whole thread on the forum hoping that a Fairish Raw will come. Yeah. It's been going for like a month and a half now, people wanting a Fairish Raw. Really, since SoulForge ever came out, people have been wanting it, but you know, particularly since it's been such a ridiculously long time. But anyways, guys, I'm going to be heading out for the night. We will be back tomorrow night, same time as always, 1 hour prior to now at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but doing the normal stuff, dungeons, guild wars, all that stuff, going over teams, any questions you guys may have. Also, Friday, we are getting a new Mythic, and so definitely make sure to save your Glory, Gem, and Guild, and VIP keys if you're going to be opening any for that occasion. Also, this is the first mass key opening that we'll be doing ever since the new version. While we have done some key openings, this will be the most that we'll ever open since then. So that'll be kind of nice. Get to see all the new fancy little animation thing. Most of you have probably already seen it by now. But they did change how you open keys. Well, actually, I could show it right now just by opening, like, let's say 50 gold keys. But yeah, they have, like, a new little animation thing. What's really nice about this is this... I'm probably not going to be showing it like this, though. Maybe for the VIP keys, but then again, it takes too long. But one nice thing that is about this change is it's not in rarity order anymore. Before, when they originally changed it, as you can see, we just got a rare there, and now we'll get, like, a common. Oh, well, that just proved me wrong. But it's not in rarity order right now, so you can get a mixture of rarities. So you won't just have all of the high legend and mythics all the way at the end. Now it'll be mixed in with everything else, like it has been in the past. For one patch, it wasn't like that, but they have changed it now to be back to how it's always been, where any rarity can spawn at any time, which is kind of nice. And I do really appreciate that change. It was much needed, because it makes every single key hype instead of just the last few. Anyways, yeah, so we'll be mass key opening under the Friday reset to try to get it. It's going to be a Glacial Peak troop. Looks pretty nice. Going to be able to summon a Queen Mab as well. And of course, everyone knows how amazing Queen Mab is. She's the best freezer in the game, as well as the best mana burner in the game. So really potent in every degree. But anyways, guys, I'll be heading out for the night. I'll see you all later. Best of luck on Friday with the key openings, and I hope you all enjoy the holidays. Goodbye, everyone.